Welcome everyone to our live open source Linux development distribution channel here with our T2 rolling release source distribution, cross-compiling to 24 plus architectures and stuff. And in our Discord, people reported, nah, doesn't install an NVMe, and I was like, dude, what, seriously? And of course I quickly took a look at one last thing, and of course I found some stuff super, yeah, unfortunate for sure. Clean. And so the thing was actually very simple. And also, yeah, 2022 and T2 Linux and stuff, and taking Discord feedback here for installer fixes. The thing is very simple. In our installer, we iterate over the block device and we simply typed angle brackets 0 to 9, like /dev device $dev angle brackets 0 to 1, and that worked for decades until like some years ago. And for NVMe, which are NVMe of course, and then number n namespace partition p, and so that didn't regular expression pattern wildcard match, right? So share, oh, this is not share, package base stone. And so the fix is as simple as like here a p do, and I improved some other surrounding stuff around this. Some comments like, yeah, disk, like don't really have like disks often anymore, kind of sort of, but more importantly there was some grep IDE for CD-ROM and media. It's like, yeah, dude, it's not using, I mean, they are not even old-fashioned IDE drivers anymore, so removing that and hard-coded filter floppy out, because it annoys me a little bit that with QEMU you always have a bloody floppy device here unless you disable floppy. And also some comments, so theoretically we could check for media, like the CD-ROM media stuff, not to list CD-ROMs here, but this would require UDEF ADM info or something of property of media stuff, not really. I think this could break too much stuff of who knows what hangs or crashes there. I really hate stuff of probing too much stuff. I wish there would be a sysf as attribute of media or read-only or stuff, but yeah, somehow there isn't really. And here also to do maybe, so this thing, this might not be the super most, I see already in like 5 years, like our IBM mainstream, whatever, virtual machine cluster thing or so, with like 1K storage devices or something, that this might fail. I'm not sure if, maybe we shouldn't, I mean, should this move? I think probably usually should work, except maybe if you have like VDP or so, if you, how many would this be? Like 26 times something, it's like, yeah. So I don't really want to change this today. We could change this, maybe we change this like next week for the next major release. We could iterate those. I think this should be equivalent and more reliable to only match all of those for that particular device. And this is blocks $1 argument of like NVMe and stuff. But so I tested this with QEMU, of course, and so what was previously it only listed here edit the partition table and not those devices. I mean, you could always install. Why did I not notice that? So one thing, I don't really have NVMe in most of our servers for the boot device. And additionally, even if I sometimes have, then I usually set up manual stuff with full disk encryption, and probably another day we need to add full disk encryption and stuff into the menu. What I usually do is, if I do, or you, yeah, do we have this by the way? Oops, probably not. Oh, wait a second. Detected. Oh, actually we have encrypted. Cool. Yeah, but usually I also have LVM, maybe. Yeah, so the thing is, this LVM stuff is a little bit too complex to me. Everything is possible, but I'm not feeling like adding full LVM. Somehow it's not the most important. If you do such more sophisticated setups, then I think it's somewhat fair to just use the freaking console tools. I did a tiny little bit of other stuff. So you see, I'm not the super best recommendation. So if this would be rocket science and we would build like a spaceship or stuff, then I would commit this separately. I think I just commit this as one thing because it overall is just too tiny, with a little bit of polishing here and there. Otherwise, if we would build a rocket, ship, then I would commit this separately for obvious reasons, and test suite and some more testing and automation and stuff, recurring theme. But what I also did additionally is we had already a bash history, and I thought it would be cool to have installed in here. So previously the bash history was this term thing, for example, for that, if you run this on a serial terminal, obviously. And so I added install. So this is just the default. This is just one tiny little file, right? In SVNDI, but this is a tiny little thing, like one more tiny little thing of making this user experience of our test. I mean, I kind of like it. The thing is, I will probably make a dedicated video sometime soon. We need to do a little bit more serious videos. I had a questionnaire here on my main channel regarding what do we need, what does T2 need, and a lot of people, here's some of it's just a wrong account. Actually more people voted. Amazing. I think at 50, I mean, it's some crazy stuff with 20 votes. It was of course microkernel. I think with like 50 votes it was better installer. I'm actually surprised. The last time I looked at that, like 5 days ago, it was actually like 50% better installer. Obviously fans of microkernel here, I appreciate that. I also appreciate, I'm aware that like my father would probably not be able to install T2 without a manual or so, or help, calling the support line. So I mean, it's like a BSD installer thing, right? I'm probably make a dedicated video in some days discussing of next generation T2 installer, or like T2 microkernel installer. What do you actually freaking want? Does better installer just mean either graphical or no options? There, of course, I kinda, do I have here, often I have comment below. I mean, obviously comment below, right? Because do you want like Henry Ford or so? What do you want, a faster horse, right? So yeah, it's not how we get an automobile. So yeah, need to make some future video of better installer. But for today, NVMe, and with this also MMC, just by, I think the irony is, just the other day on our Discord, people discussed this here on T2 or so, I think, and both came up like the same day, not sure if it's related, but we can test this. I also added shutdown, so you can just reverse, you should be, did I not, yeah, there it is. Not that it would be that important, actually, wait a second, we could do one more thing. So MMC is the same, I wanted to say, so SD card, so maybe one wanted to install an NVMe and another on a Raspberry Pi or whatever embedded, or actually Mac, maybe Mac, Asai Linux, not sure. Anyway, someone wanted to install on MMC, and that was actually the same thing of MMC, block stuff of 0p, like, yeah. Also consistency, right? It's only constant is change of like super consistent device naming, Linux land, right? But so actually, was it MMC or SD card? Are you here? Is that? Let's just do one, maybe. What did I wanted to do? Something installer. So much to do. Improving installer. All right, shutdown. Share install. This delay annoys me a little bit. Where is our shutdown hack? Yeah, here. So we have a actually, why do we freaking sleep? So what annoys me a little bit is this bloody shutdown takes long. I mean, not that it would matter, but it triggers me a little bit of 15 seconds. And we fix this, a new shutdown, at least with well, actually this probably only works for sys 5 init based builds, but later we could tweak this in other ways. But for now, sys 5 init, let's maybe as one other thing also dash says most distros moved to or something Ubuntu layers of awful. Yeah, you say awful. Not sure what's with Calameris or whatever. I appreciate the scriptability and simplicity of the shell scripting. Obviously, I'm aware that it could be much better. Even the text, I didn't even invent that. Claire did back in the day for Rock Linux. We had an improved desktop Rock Linux installer though that had a cool animation. Previous video some 2 years ago. But this setup tool 1, that is an invention from Rock Linux times. I think I would attribute most of that maybe to Claire. Claire's implementation. I like it in general, just I think this text menus could look more professional or so, but that's a problem of this dialog-based scripting thing. Some installer framework. Yeah, I mean, previously all the Red Hat clones used this Anaconda stuff, and SUSE obviously had whatever they had. Yast. That was such a bloody shit. I mean, honestly, as this was 20 years ago, the SUSE Yast was the biggest piece of piling garbage. As slow as the Molossus was. I mean, basically Windows NT 4 installation was more amazing than this bloody. I mean, this was, by the way, so 1996 I installed Debian from a with Linux 1 point whatever from a magazine CD, and this was, I mean, it was usable, but it was meh. I mean, it was 1996, right? And then like half a year later or so, I brought the freaking CD set, like 6 CD set or something in binary installer and FTP mirrors, I guess, from SUSE. That was somewhat better, but Yast this was basically like, what a piling piece of random shit, and slow, like, and device rescanning and like pseudo plug and play. It was hilarious. When my neighbor and I actually decided, you know what, this Yast is such a shit, even we with 16 years old, we could do that better. So this is how we came to Rock Linux, by the way. Is it still the same? I did not touch SUSE since 20 years. So I have like zero. And also, for me, it's a waste of time, right? I mean, why should I touch Red Hat or SUSE when I have T2, right? Obviously. I mean, sometimes I install Debian for customer test of some random shit, but basically, I mean, I installed Haiku and Dragonfly and stuff. I mean, for me, installing Dragonfly or Haiku is way more useful than just another of those nearly 2,000 Linux distributions. Quick question there. Start kernel writing device drivers. Can you recommend a good starting point? Well, there is this famous standard book, Writing Device Drivers, I guess, O'Reilly. Otherwise, the kernel documentation, right? Or just a similar driver. I mean, after 20 years, I of course usually don't read a book unless it's like microkernel design or compiler design. So I would personally start with a similar driver from the Linux kernel sources. Otherwise, this kernel driver book probably another. If you need like more book material guidance, then that's probably it. Yeah, I'm not sure if that is still relevant, or if I would. I mean, it's, yeah. In general, it didn't really change much the last 30 years. I mean, sure, there are newer APIs and some helpers and stuff and architectures and K-object but otherwise it didn't significantly change. I would say, at least for 20 years. I mean, even in 30, but after Linux 2, sure, they constantly change APIs, but it's not that different. So we have here this, that's probably in system, and that is kill all let's, because this is a little bit of, so error code. So this is okay, error code, okay, error code 2 is still something running or so. This is new, kill 5. And that is a new thing that had myself actually a year ago. Was a little buggy experience. So return 2 if no processes were killed. Okay, so let's improve our installer shutdown time to Was it that one or no, here? So we have I mean, we probably, you know what, let's sync those messages, because why not? Oh, wait a second, sending my process, this actually is synced. So let's do the same there and only sleep 3 because 5 is annoying. So that is arrow 2, then kill, arrow sleep 5. So only if something is still running. What do we have there? Actually, I think theoretically, do we conditionalize that? Actually, we don't for pre-processing stuff there. But let's simply. Wait a second. We had that here. Wait, what? No, I copy and pasted that there. And then is it the same second sig time? I mean, theoretically, we could. We could actually make this nicer already, which we should also do in our system init eventually. So if error code 2, then something is running. Actually, do we even use this error code there? Actually, we probably copy and pasted that from. We use it for nothing. We probably copy and pasted that from the system init some decade ago and never changed it. Actually, no, wait. We use it here though. Then. Sleep, and I mean, it would be a little bit different. Not sure, should we? I mean, maybe we could do the sig kill in any case, just not to cause regression. Not sure if this should be needed, but we probably have also sleep 3, sleep 5, sending up process a second sig time, and wait 5 if stuff. I mean, in the installer we don't really have something to gracefully shut down, but sending, and so then and let's maybe use, actually we use 8 there. Is it tabs? I hope it's tabs. That is tabs, good. Yeah, so if there's still something running, then what delay do we have there? Again 5, probably again 5. And then probably give up, I guess. Again, we shouldn't really need that here, but the only reason, yeah, this is, we could also prove that, but whatever. But that stuff I will commit separately. So, kill all if exit equal to, then sleep 3, sending my process a second sig term. If there is still something, then... Oh wait, we wanted sleep here, right? This is wrong, we do that in any case. Sleep 5, and here also only sleep, I guess. That is kill. Wait a second. Oh, we have. Oh, by the way, we had here a dot removal of improving our messages. We probably want to remove this here too for consistency. You also should not have this code twice, but it will be a little bit difficult to consolidate that. So, and then also only, do we only wait? Yeah, we only sleep if there's something left running, vastly speeding up this process. So, oops. So, I mean, we could, this should be enough. You know what, let's use the same pattern here just to make this a little bit consistent. But that should now be all right. I mean, this error thing we like totally don't check anyway, so I guess that could do it. So it was in the overlay, so we only need to rebuild that, kill that. Oh, right, we had this already killed. Yeah, so that is instant now. So yeah, way nicer. Actually, we could, because we could remove more trailing dots. We removed this because this was often no full sentences and found this in general. But yeah, if any of those title case and punctuations and stuff trigger you, leave me the comments below. Oh wait, this is again the wrong file. Package init, where was it? Or did where did I edit that? Too many tmuxes. Here actually. Target share. I see it into there. Target share generic. No, install. Root has been shut down. Yeah, with this punctuation, I think it was also mostly because we had this dots, right? This looked a little bit strange with dot space and this ellipsis thing to the status lines on. But I think it looks way cleaner, but leave me the comments below. Yeah, runs it again. I think especially the bash history is also nice. I mean, certainly that NVMe devices and MMC devices show up there is certainly nice to have. But yeah, this is, I said this 100 times already, similar to the only console has changed. The testing, the only replacement for testing is more testing. Is the software hardware is never done, right? There's always, you can always, I mean, obviously, right, with Windows and macOS, and you can always make stuff better. So it's always when do you make a cut and stop editing, improving. There's actually, there are some trailing dots theoretically, but it's maybe for some other day. Does this look all right? Stop, what do we do here? Stop, shutdown. Why is that saying stopped? That is a little bit funny. What was it? I mean, must have been before, right? Not really. Wait a second, was this? This is a little bit strange. Did we had that before? We must have had this before, right? It's probably the login shell, I guess. Probably, most likely. I mean, it shuts down. I guess that is. I mean, usually the file system should be unmounted. Oh, there's also, okay. I guess it's good. So I guess I leave it at that. So that's really it now, I hope. Unless we find some significant showstopper here. Theoretically, I probably should test some install with isolated graphics and see if the DRI drivers work in some way, shape, or form. But that's it for today now. I hope you learned something, especially how you can improve installer with one character and otherwise running usability stuff. And for future discussions, don't forget to check subscribe, Patreon, YouTube membership and stuff, and then we discuss not only microkernel but also how to improve the installer. Would be best with more people participating. Maybe I should make a poll actually to gather some feedback, what they actually want, like graphical or whatever. But anyway, that's it for today. I hope you learned something and see you next time.